the human resource management from the block 1, that unit 2. See that unit 2 talks about the concept and the functions of human resource management. This is the structure what we are going to see about from the content. The first thing is the objectives of this unit and introduction, and third one the concept of human resource management, and fourth one the objectives of human resource management, and the last one the functions of human resource management. The objectives of this unit 2 is the students can able to understand the meaning and the concept of human resource management practices, and you can able to see that what are the functions of human resource manager and what are all the responsibilities and the new roles of HR practitioners at nowadays. This is the introduction of this unit. Before entering into the unit, as I already mentioned about in the unit 1, particularly what is the necessity why we are studying that human resource management practices and why it is needed, where it is needed, what are the application purpose of this course, everything we can able to come to know directly from the unit 1. Again, that unit 2, assume that you are a good HR manager in a very big concern. What are all the functions we have to perform? What are all the functional areas of that management activities in order to bring that effective management concepts and as well as that key sectors and the success rate of that the particular personnel policies and procedures of an enterprise are closely linked with that to make that major contribution to the achievement of the corporate objectives and as well as the strategic plans. And the third thing is, in order to bring that corporate culture and values and as well as the organizational climate, and we can able to concentrate on that managerial behavior from the culture will exert a major influence on the achievement of excellence. So this culture must therefore be managed, which means that organizational values may need to be changed or reinforced, and that the continuous effort starting from the top. We studied about the levels of management. We studied about that what are all the roles played by the HR manager in a very big concern, what are all the HR activities, what are all the functions of human resource management activities, and so on. So this unit is going to integrate all the members of an organization, those who are all working together, involved in that particular things. And the concept of human resource management, the concept and the functions of human resource management practices, it talks about the members of an organization in a well-reputed concern, in what way they are utilizing the resources, particularly the human resources. Because the man also one of the social animal in the world. Without the main resource, the remaining resources are useless, meaningless. So we are in a position to identify the right person to do the right job. So assume that the human resource is a valuable resource. We have to tap that untapped resources from the whole unit. And this is the most important resource, there is a scope for unlimited development of these resources without fail. And it is that more than in the nature of self-development than the development just from the outside areas. And the organization also undergoes the development with the overall benefits along with the development of its members. And the organization further develops a culture in which utmost emphasis is placed on harmonious, superior subordinate relations, teamwork, collaboration among different groups of individuals, and we can develop that open communication. We can eradicate the gaps between the person to person, and it must be integrate of the goals of the organization which needs of one employee. And the next thing is, the top management takes the initiative for human resource management, formulates necessary plans and strategies, and creates an overall climate and support for its implementation. And the next thing is, the management of HR practices is more of an art than a science. In a practice, it is an art full of pitfalls and judgment calls and learning from past mistakes. So you can able to understand from that the concept of human resource management. It is mainly involved integrating the human resources, organizing the human resources, and developing the human resources, and finding that valuable human resource in the world, and as well as encourage that human talents, human efforts. This is the first and foremost duty of an human resource management practices. And next, we are going to discuss about the difference between the traditional personnel functions and human resource development. Just see the left side. The first difference is the traditional personnel function talks about in a very traditional way what are all that personnel management activities. It is full of independent functions in the 3 or 4 decades before. But in order to compare with that human resource development practices, it is a subset of the systems, or else a subsystem of a larger system of the organization. And the second difference is, the main task of traditional personnel functions is to respond effectively to the demands. It is the demand-based theory. But in the human resource development is an organic whole, and all the parts are interlinked. Because assume that, for an example, we have according to that the human activities, we have a good brain, heart. So all the parts are doing that important and their own activities, and everything is interlinked through the blood. So without blood, without heart, the activities of a human being is not possible. Assume that the human resource management is integrating all the parts of that particular organization. Here we are talking about the development of human resource management. It is an organic and as well as a whole, and it deals with all the parts of interlinked in that particular organization. And the traditional personnel functions taking that main responsibilities for their personnel matters. But in the human resource development activities, all the managers, irrespective of functions, share the responsibilities of human resource functions and so on. And the next one is the main responsibilities of traditional personnel functions, and it deals and relates to that salary and wages and salaries administration, and fixing the roles and responsibilities to all the employees in a particular organization, and managing the people in a very good manner and developing their skill sets. But come this side, the responsibilities of human resource development system talks about the system, the people, and the process of the total organization. And the next thing is the major attention of traditional personnel functions is on that personnel administration or else the management system. But here the major attention of human resource system in on the developing people and their competencies in all the levels, particularly in the key competencies, the functional areas, and as well as that all the key areas, key competencies of a management system. And the personnel system and procedure should be designed to achieve maximum efficiency. So in order to bring that, the major attention of human resource system, it's on developing the people and their competencies. And the traditional personnel functions, the personnel system and the procedures should be designed to achieve maximum efficiency. But this time, the people are primarily motivated by challenges and opportunities for development and creativity of their own. So what you can able to understand out of that particular the differences between the traditional personnel functions and then the human resource development system. Next, move on with the objectives of human resource management. There are four main objectives of human resource management practices. The first one is called societal objective. The societal objectives are socially and ethically responsible for the needs and challenges of society. While doing so, they have to minimize the negative impact of such demands upon the organization. The failure of organizations to use their resources for society benefit in ethical ways may lead to restrictions. So this is called the societal objectives. And next thing is the organizational objectives. The organizational objectives recognize the role of human resource management in bringing about organizational effectiveness. The human resource management, it is not an end in itself, only a means to assist that organization with its primary objectives. Simply stated that the human resource development exists to serve the rest of the organization. And third objective is functional objectives. The functional objectives try to maintain the department's contribution at a level appropriate to the organization needs. So the human resources are able to adjust it to suit the organization's demand. The department's levels of service must be tailored to fit the organization it serves. And the personal objectives assists employees in achieving their personal goals, at least insofar as these goals enhance the individual's contribution to the organization. So the personal objectives of employees must be met if they are to be maintained, retained and motivated. Otherwise, employee performance and satisfaction may decline, gives rise to employee turnover. Let me discuss one side that human resource management objectives and another side the functions of HR. The societal objectives just starts from that, the functions from the human resource management, particularly the legal compliance and the benefits and union management relations. And the second objectives, organizational objectives, it states that the human resource planning and employee relations and selection, and next one training and development, and next performance appraisal, and next placement, and next assessment. So all these functions of human resource management comes under the head of organizational objectives. And out of that performance appraisal, placement and the assessment, you can call it as that functional objectives of human resource management activities, and followed by the training and development, compensation, assessment. It deals with that personal objectives of human resource management. So indirectly you can able to understand that without the objectives of human resource management, there is no meaning for the functions of the HRM and as well as the human resource manager. So the next thing is, what are all the responsibilities of a human resource manager? Because one human resource manager taking a leading role and performing a major things in that particular organization. First, responsibilities of human resource manager to develop a thorough knowledge of corporate culture, plans and policies. Definitely today's modern world, today's a modern scenario, we have to bring the corporate culture everywhere and develop that strategic plan, tactical plan and operational plans of a particular business activity. So as a human resource manager, taking out or else playing a vital role in the organization, and all the roles and responsibilities are highly interlinked with that particular things. And the second responsibility goes to that, to act as an internal change agent and consultant. Because a human resource manager should give that welcome note to the vendors and as well as the consultant to that particular business activities, and make a very good sign to the consumers. The second responsibility. And the third one, to initiate change and act as an expert and facilitator. You have to make that and feel that expertise, knowledge on that particular field and facilitate the demands from the HR side, the human resource management side. And the fourth responsibility of HR manager, to actively involve himself in company strategy formulation and so on. And the fifth responsibility, to keep communication lines open between that human resource development function and individuals and groups within or else that outside of the particular organization. And the next responsibility, to identify and evolve human resource development strategies in consonance with overall business strategies. And next responsibilities of HR manager, a person must facilitate the development of various organizational teams and their working relationship with the other teams and individuals, to try and relate people and work so that the organization objectives are achieved effectively and efficiently. And one HR manager should act as a person, should diagnose that problem and to determine that appropriate solution, particularly in the human resource areas. HR manager to provide that coordination and support services for the delivery of human resource development programs and services. And the next responsibilities of HR manager to evaluate the impact of HRD, that is human resource development, intervention, or to conduct research so as to identify, develop or test how human resource development in general has improved individual and creates that major impact on that organizational performance. So you can able to understand that the responsibilities of human resource manager, it is not a limited part, it is an unlimited part, it is a infinity. As a HR manager of a particular organization, I am playing a vital role. I am in a position to identify the right person for the right job. Then only I can save the time, I can save the cost. Why? Because all the qualitative products, qualitative strategies, effective strategies come out with that effective person, effective HR. How can you develop, how can you form that effective HR without recruiting that right person, without selecting the suitable person to that particular post? What we should do as a HR manager, we have to reduce that cost by way of selecting the right person to do the right job in a time. Unless and otherwise, such a person will not be helpful to that particular organization in future. If we are selecting the right person on time, the right person, there is no need for any supervision at all. Without supervision, a fellow can able to work, can contribute the development of the organization. So definitely that will be more helpful to the organization to accomplish their desired results, goals and other things. So followed that, what are all the new roles of HR practitioner as suggested by Pat McLachlan? The first role, to bring the issues and the trends concerning an organization external and internal people to the attention of strategic decision makers and to recommend long-term strategies to support organizational excellence and endurance. The second role played by the HR practitioner is to design and prepare HR systems and actions for implementation so that they can able to produce that maximum impact on organizational performance and development. And the third role, to facilitate the development and implementation of strategies for transforming one's own organization by pursuing that values and vision. Because we are creating that vision statement, we are creating that mission and everything else. What we should do? We should analyze, we should facilitate, we should develop the strategies for transforming that one's own organization by pursuing that values and visions. And the fourth one, to create the smoothest flow of products and services to the consumers. It ensures that best and most flexible use of the resources and competencies and to create the commitment among the people who help us to meet customers' needs, whether those people work directly for the organization or not. And the next role played by the HR practitioner, to identify the learning needs and then design and develop structured learning programs and materials to help accelerate learning for individuals and as well as groups. And next one is to help individuals and groups work in new situations and to expand and change their views so that people in power move from authoritarian to the participative modes of leadership style, because we must involve all the people, all the individuals to follow, to adopt the new environment practices, the new situations. Every day by day we are facing the new problems. Each and every problem has some unique solutions. We are in a position to identify the solution for all the problems. Unless and otherwise, nothing will happen to the particular roles of leader. And to help people assess their competencies, values and goals, so that they can identify, come up plan and implement development actions of that particular things. And to assist individuals to add values in the workshop, and to focus on the interventions and interpersonal skills for helping people change and sustainability of that particular change management practices, or else the change management cultural practices in the organization. And the next new roles of HR practitioners suggested by Pat McLean, to assist individuals to add values in the workplace and to focus on that the interventions and interpersonal skills for helping people change and sustainability of that particular change management practices. And to assess that human resource development practices and programs and their impact and to communicate results, so that the organization and its people accelerate their change and development. So these are all the roles and responsibilities of HR manager. So before that, I'm going to summarize that what are all the concepts and things discussed from the unit 2, particularly the concept of human resource management activities starts from that introduction, objectives of this course, and the concept of human resource management practices, and the objectives of human resource management, and at last the functions of human resource